Good morning. I wanted to look at Moses, and more specifically when God called him to free the Israelites from Egypt. And I'm going to kind of look at a few different verses today instead of just reading a few of them to you. But if you look at chapters 3 and 4, you can see when God's trying to call Moses. And in chapter 3, verse 11, after God asks him to go, he uses the excuse, "Who am I?" He says, that I am the least of those that I know of, and why would you send me? And in verse 13, he says, well, who am I going to tell them that sent me? And then in chapter 4, verse 1, he says, they won't believe me. And then in chapter 4, verse 10, he says, well, I'm not a good speaker. I can't talk. And I just think that it's interesting that he just keeps coming up with these excuses. God, I can't do this. I can't do this. But the Lord wouldn't call him if the Lord didn't already have it set up and didn't know he could do it. And that is what I learned by studying this week. Like in each of these circumstances, God told him, like in chapter 12, when he says, who am I? God says, I will be with you. So it doesn't matter because I'm the one who's your strength. And then in verse 14, he says, tell them I am, or I am Yahweh. The God that they already know of because he's the God of their ancestors. And then in chapter 4, he shows him miracles, says, show them these miracles. And as far as he's not a good speaker, God already had Aaron lined up to come and help him. And so when God calls you to do something, he's already got the pieces in place, and he already knows that you can do the job. And so that just kind of caught my attention as I was studying that this week. As far as if you feel like God's leading you to do something and you're seeking him, if he's telling you to do it, don't worry about all those reasons why you think you can't, because he's already got it set up for you.
Yeah. And I think sometimes God calls people, like, say, a speaker. Mm-hmm. He'll call somebody that doesn't know how to speak, because that way that person's not going to do it unless he's fully leaning on the Lord.
Well, yeah, and then God really shines through that when he shines through your weaknesses, and he proves himself to you, like he grows your trust in him too through that, and kind of maybe gets you ready for maybe what else he has in store for you that you might need a little more trust for.
I'm not saying God never calls a good speaker. I'm just saying
he can use that.
Sometimes, I guarantee you, don't use that as an excuse, because God, if you lean on him and he wants you to do it, it's going to happen.
Or even just like Moses, God already said, okay, well, this person can speak and they're going to help you.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if I'd have seen a burning bush speaking to me, I would have said, it's time for an exodus. And
yeah, I don't know.
That would have freaked me out. Anyway, thanks for those thoughts. And how do we find your blog?
It's hebringsjoy.com. And then on YouTube, if you search hashtag Thought to Ponder, you'll find the videos.
All right, sounds good. We've got